For June 7th. This is our regular meeting. I will call this meeting to order. We will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by an invocation given by Alderman Carver, and then a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alderman Carver?
Yes, ma'am. Let's pray. Father, we just thank you so much for this beautiful day you gifted us, Lord. Thank you for the mayor and the board of aldermen and the leaders within our community, Lord. Be with us as we make these decisions tonight, and just let us act with truth and grace, Lord, in all that we do. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, everyone. We certainly appreciate you being here. We will, first order of business will be approving the official agenda with consented items, and we will determine if there, well, I do know of one item. We need to remove from consent under board business, item A, which is consideration of Freeport warehouse license and ad valorem tax exemption request by Guerin Manufacturing. We will be modifying that a bit and putting that on the agenda with a motion for the one portion of that. So if we could take that one off the consent agenda. Any other items? Alderman Carver, anything for you?
No, ma'am, but you said on Guerin, that's the first item and not the second?
Yes, that's the first one. Guerin Manufacturing, Freeport warehouse license, and ad valorem tax exemption. We're going to split those so that it's just the ad valorem.
No, ma'am, I'm fine. Other thing, and I missed, I had to leave early in the work session Friday, but under board business, item D, is there a reason it's not on consent?
I think there was just an opportunity to talk about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Sistrom, anything?
Under the engineering department, if we could add accepting the TAP grant or the match.
Okay.
I had asked to leave it off, but I've gotten my questions answered.
Okay, all right. Anyone have any objection to putting the TAP grant under engineering on consent? Anyone? Seeing none, all right, we'll put that on consent. Anything else, Alderman Sistrom? All right. Alderman Rupp?
No, ma'am.
Alderman Brooks?
No, ma'am.
Alderman Beatty?
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. I would like to consider adding acceptance of the lowest bid from Suncoast Infrastructure Incorporated for the rehab of the sanitary sewage collection system in the Green Oaks neighborhood, South Side, and Rolling Hills neighborhoods in the amount of $1,616,607.
Okay, thank you so much. Any issues with adding that to the consent? The only reason we didn't have it was because the bids did not close until today. So if there's no objection to adding that under consent, all right, we will add that to consent. Thank you, sir. Anything else, Alderman Beatty?
No, ma'am.
Vice Mayor Perkins?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Alderman Vaughn?
No, ma'am, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. With those changes, I would entertain a motion to approve the official agenda with the consented items as modified.
So moved.
I have a motion from Alderman Rupp and a second from Alderman Brooks. All right, thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much. And I will read the consented agenda items. First is consideration of minutes of the May 3rd, 2022 meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Starkville. Second is consideration of the minutes of the May 13th, 2022 work session of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Starkville. Under board business, there's the resolution of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Starkville, Mississippi, authorizing and directing the, oh my goodness, I forgot how long it was, authorizing and directing the issuance of tax increment financing revenue bond series 2022 Stark Crossing Development Project of the City of Starkville, Mississippi, in the maximum principal amount of $1,500,000 to provide funds for the purpose of paying or reimbursing the costs of constructing various infrastructure improvements for the use or benefit of the Stark Crossing Development Project, pursuant to plans, including the tax increment financing plan presented to and approved by the municipality, prescribing the form and incidence of the bond, providing for the collection, segregation, and distribution of the tax increment revenues to be derived from the tax increment financing district pursuant to the tax increment financing plan in an amount sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds, authorizing various funds and accounts, including a debt service reserve account, making provision for maintaining the tax-exempt status of the bonds, if any, approving and authorizing the execution of a bond purchase agreement and a placement agreement for the bonds, acknowledging and authorizing the execution of post-issuance compliance procedures, approving and authorizing the execution and distribution of a bond purchase agreement pertaining to the sale of bonds, engaging various professionals in connection with the authorization, issuance, validation, sale, and delivery of the bonds, and for related purposes. Let's see, under engineering, just put under consent is consideration of accepting the $400,000 in federal transportation alternatives, TA program funds, to construct the intersection improvements at Spring Street and Highway 12 as proposed for the Spring Street connector, and authorizing the mayor to activate the project, execute a preliminary engineering contract along with any necessary MDOT-related paperwork, and an MOU with MSU and Tibahaw County. Item 2 is consideration of adding the mill, overlay, and striping of Hospital Road from Hiwassee to Jackson to the 2022 capital improvement project in lieu of Jackson Street. Under Finance and Administration, consideration of fiscal year 2022 budget adjustments. Under Human Resources, request authorization to hire Corey Harry as a closed-circuit television CCTV sewer maintenance worker in the Starkville Utilities Department. Request authorization to hire Corey Ann Sanders as a maintenance worker 2 in the Street Department. Request authorization to hire Zachary Williams as a part-time grounds maintenance worker for the Airport Department. 4 is request authorization to hire Tyon Robinson as an entry-level firefighter in the Starkville Fire Department. 5 is request authorization to hire Shonda Begner and Aiden Dodd as entry-level police officers. 6, request approval of the promotions of Taurus Young to the rank of lieutenant and Matthew Sherbach to the rank of sergeant in the fire department, and authorization to retain the candidates from the promotion process held on May 26 and 27, 2022, for consideration to hire any additional vacant position due to retirements, terminations, or approved additions to the fire department within a period of 6 months. 7 is a request authorization to hire Amelia Montgomery as an accountant in the Starkville Utilities Department. 8, request authorization to hire Ladreka Tucker as a maintenance worker in the Sanitation and Environmental Services Department. 9, request authorization to hire William Alford as a System Administrator 2 in the Information Technology Department. Under IT, we have request approval to purchase a professional services block hours with Garner Computers in the amount of $6,000. Under Parks, we have request approval to execute change orders number 2 with Southern Electric and number 6 with T&M Steel, which will result in the amount of $254,628 to be paid with contract contingencies. Under Sanitation Department, we have request approval to authorize for the purchase of residential rear loader garbage truck consistent with the annexation services and facilities plan agreement. Under Utilities, we have 1, request authorization for Starkville Utilities to purchase the 2 existing ChargePoint electric vehicle charging stations from 7 States Power Corporation in the amount of $7,290 plus a 5-year annual recurring fee for the network access and station warranty in the amount of $2,156. 2 is request authorization to purchase a 6-inch water meter set up from Central Pipe Supply, Inc., the sole authorized dealer of Badger meter products for this region, in the amount of $5,040 for the Chandler Park Meter Consolidation Project upon payment by the contractor for meter purchase and tap installation. 3 is request authorization to accept the lowest quote from Bryce Morgan Fencing to install a black fence around the Academy South Montgomery Water Treatment Plant in the amount of $26,900. 4 is request authorization to purchase a mini excavator for the electric division from Bobcat via a state-approved contract source well in the amount of $46,601.24. 5 is request authorization to purchase a skid steer for the electric division from Bobcat via a state-approved contract source well in the amount of $58,640.39. And item number 6 is consideration of acceptance of the lowest bid from Suncoast Infrastructure, Inc. for the rehab of the sanitary sewer collection system in the Green Oak, Southside, and Rolling Hills neighborhoods in the amount of $1,616,670. And that concludes the consent agenda items.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. All right, next item is mayor's comments, and I have the privilege, and this is one of the fun things that we do, is introductions. So I'm excited about being able to do that. We have 3 new employees, and they are all in the courts department. So first we have Monica Larry, who is the municipal court clerk. Come on up. Come on up. We got to put a face with a name. Ms. Larry is a native of West Point, Mississippi, and has resided in Clay County all of her life. Monica has had over 20-plus years of experience combined as a deputy court clerk and court clerk with the city of West Point, Mississippi. She and her husband, Antonio, have been married for 10 years, and together they have 5 wonderful children. They are expecting their first grandchild within a few weeks. Monica attends Concord Church in West Point, Mississippi, where her husband pastors. She enjoys spending time with family and doing crossword puzzles in her spare time. Welcome, Monica. We're delighted to have you. And you can just say that because the rest of these folks coming up work for you. So, Felicia Arney. Ms. Arney is originally from Derry, New Hampshire, and has been a resident in Mississippi since 1995. She currently resides in Ackerman, Mississippi with her husband and daughter. Felicia comes to the city of Starkville with 11 years of legal support experience. Felicia is a member of the Antioch Community Church in Reform, Mississippi, and spends her free time with her family and working in her yard. Welcome, Felicia.
Thank you.
And next is Melissa Miller. Ms. Miller, there you are. Ms. Miller is a life resident of Louisville, Mississippi. She comes to the city of Starkville from the Oktibbeha County Justice Court, where she served as a deputy clerk. She is married to DeCenzo Miller Sr. of 10 years, and they have 6 children together. Melissa loves to sing and spend time with family and friends in her spare time, and we greatly appreciate you being with us. Thank you all. All right, and other things I want to just tell everybody about is this coming weekend, we've got a softball tournament. It's got 60 teams. We have a basketball camp going on. It's a fast break, and it's going to have 40 to 45 participants. And then we have an A.J. Brown event that is going to be shared between us and Starkville High School. That's a 7-on-7, so they'll be using our new turf field. So hopefully that will all be exciting and things that we can all go watch and cheer them on. So anyway, it'll be a nice busy weekend. All right, anyone else? Alderman Carver, anything for you?
No, ma'am.
Alderman Sistrunk?
No, ma'am.
Alderman Rupp?
You know, it's hard to believe with all those things going on that anything else.
Except
could
Lemonade
possibly
Day.
be
I left
going
it
on.
for you now.
Two things. It's actually Entrepreneurship Day in the city of Starkville. We have campers from 3 states at the E-Center this week. They're 14 years old. They formed a company, elected officers, developed products, sourced materials, built the products, market the products, and they'll have a pop-up shop Saturday at the Idea Shop. And when their parents come pick them up, they get to keep all the profits. And last year, these kids made over $2,000. So if you're out and about Saturday, please think of coming by the Idea Shop and supporting these kids. And Saturday, the East Center also is sponsoring again Lemonade Day. So that's Golden Triangle wide. We expect about 50 stands in Columbus, Starkville, and West Point. And we tell the kids, the goal is to teach them some business skills. But we tell them to do 3 things with the money: to save some, to spend some, and feel what it's like to spend money that you've made. And then we ask them to share some. So you'll see lots of local charities benefiting from that. So all you have to do to support these things is just go out and buy some lemonade. Go buy lots of lemonade until it just makes you sick to your stomach. Go buy lemonade this Saturday. Thanks.
Thank you. It's a wonderful event, and kudos to Mark Castleberry, who continues to support it, right?
Yes, Mark Castleberry and Cadence
And
Bank
Cadence
are
Bank.
our partners in
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Thank you.
It's a great event. I drank myself sick of lemonade. Once a year, we can all do that. So, Alderman Brooks.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Alderman Beatty.
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Vice Mayor. Alderman Vaughn.
Oh, man, thank you.
All right. Next item up will be citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for anyone wishing to make some comments to the city. You have 3 minutes. Ms. Harding will time that 3 minutes, and you are welcome to give us your thoughts on any number of items. So, Mr. Turner.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. My name is Alvin Turner, Ward 7. I wrote to the mayor, I wrote to the police chief, to the fire chief, and the citizens have a few concerns. Can't believe that it's been 17 years since I got hit on Louisville Street right before the railroad track, but I'm still here. Lala Evans, our legend, he'll be real broken-hearted if we tried to do anything to the community that he loves. The turning, if we take the turning lane out of Main Street, it will make it very dangerous for people, pedestrians and whatnot, getting in the blind spot. And we definitely don't want that to happen.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Anyone else wishing to provide 3 minutes or provide feedback to the board. Yes, sir.
Michael Dunstan.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Michael Dunstan.
Dunstan, all right, thank you,
Yes.
sir.
I'm here to address the council tonight on the conditions on Octivaha Drive. I live in Octivaha Gardens, lived there since 2005. Over the years, I've seen many changes take place, not all of them good. Moved there, surrounded by residential houses, now I'm surrounded by apartments. There's like maybe 2 people that I know of actually own their house that live near me. That's not the issue. The issue is water. I live at the confluence of Octivaha and Broad Street. And essentially what it is, it's the bottom of a bowl. I'm surrounded by hills on all sides, front, back, and sideways. When I first moved to Octivaha Drive, there was a little small stream that ran under my driveway that came off of Montgomery Street. It was about that deep. And when it rained, it would fill up and it would go down. And the pipe that goes under my driveway and all the way across the neighbor's yard down below me across Broad Street was more than adequate to handle the water that came through there. Over the years, there have been no less than 3 engineering surveys and probably no less than 10 visits by engineers from the city, with the latest culmination being this past year, where they essentially ripped up my entire side yard, dug it down about 12 feet, concrete at the bottom of the hole, and rearranged the entire landscape over there. All right. They have not addressed the pipe. The pipe is still the same size as it was when the stream was about that deep. Now the stream's about 12 feet. Okay. After they finished this, I purchased 11 railroad ties and about 10 2x4s, and I built me a little bridge across that culvert or whatever it is they put in there, so I could get my lawnmower across to the other side without having to go all the way around the driveway and mow up the other side of it next to the street. Well, the water coming through there is powerful enough to where it took those 11 railroad ties and those 8 or 10 or 12 2x4s and piled them up against my driveway in a great big mess. Okay? I took my truck, which weighs 6,000 pounds, I've got a 15,000 pound winch on the front of it, and I pulled those railroad ties apart and stacked them up on the hill above, next to the street. Okay, because I didn't know what else to do with them, because obviously that wasn't going to work. All right, this last week I went through there. The water, we got a little cloudburst of about an hour. Water coming off Montgomery up there was enough to where it not only floated above my driveway about 2 feet, it was almost in my garage. It was up halfway. I've got a 2-car garage across the driveway on the Montgomery side of my house. It was halfway up to the first garage door from the ditch and level within 6 feet of the street. Coming through there, I could have rented canoes. I mean, it was as deep or deeper than I've ever seen it since the.
That was the 3 minutes.
But
If you give me a call, we'll talk about it, okay?
okay, I
All
will.
right, yes, sir. All right, anyone else? Anyone else?
My name is Christopher Elsie. I'm here on behalf of the Psychology Department and Health Promotion and Wellness Department on campus. We got a drug-free communities grant from the Center for Disease Control and SAMHSA about 2-3 years ago, right before the pandemic hit. So we've been kind of spinning wheels for a few years, but right now during the summer we're trying to reset and get things going. With regard to building a coalition in town focused on increasing wellness and decreasing substance use, primarily among youth, but community-wide. So with that being said, right now we're kind of looking for people within the community as kind of what we call sector representatives or point people within different, I guess, branches of the community, especially right now within law enforcement, business, church people, or people, representatives from churches. Services aimed at substance use prevention or substance use just rehabilitation, and youth-related organizations to kind of help out with this. So we're looking for those, but anybody is welcome to join. We're hoping to, if not change the weather with regard to service or substance use, at least improve the weatherproofing of the community, so to speak. Right now, we're working with the school district to collect data from youth at the beginning of next academic year. Hopefully that will give us a chance or an opportunity to see kind of where things are in the community and not just at the state level, and that'll help us plan for programming and services to collaborate with everyone to provide. Right now, again, we're kind of looking for members. So if you see a need in the community, please reach out. We want to help. If you have a story which helps us understand a need in the community, please reach out. We'd love to listen and to help. If you know of any ongoing resources that are helping youth, that are helping the community, that are helping with substance use, please let us know, because we'd love to take credit. We'd love to help. Forgive my humor. And yeah, you can reach us at Prevention and Wellness Starkville. It's PAWS, P-A-W-S, at psychology.msstate.edu. I'm on the other end of that website, and I'd love to meet you, work with you, and listen to you. So thank you all.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, anyone else? Anyone else?
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are y'all today?
Doing good.
Good.
Introduction of everyone?
I will. Okay, Honorable Mayor, Honorable Vice Mayor, and board members, thank you for allowing us to be here today. My name is Frank Nichols, and I'm here with other board members of the Stark Vegas Juneteenth Committee for Unity. I'm here with my lovely wife, Tammy Nichols.
Congratulations, by the way.
Well, thank you. And another board member, Pastor Abdul Lee, who's also a member of the committee. We came before you today to simply to let you know again what we're planning on doing for Juneteenth. We formed this committee with one purpose in mind, and that's to unify our community. This is, it's about African Americans. It's about teaching about some of the history of African Americans that's no longer been taught in school. Yeah, it's about that, but it's also about unifying our community. We're having these events to celebrate African American heritage, but not only that, to diversify, to bring everybody together. This is not a black event. This is a Starkville event. We want to bring everybody together to learn, to fellowship, and to have a good time. So, again, I just passed those packages out. I know some of you already had them. Please, come out, fellowship, take part in some of this. The Jazz Festival, which is our largest event, it pays for everything else. Okay, our goal is to have everything free. Okay, once we get enough donors, and thank you, Mayor, and sponsors, we will do that. Everything will be free on this day. But right now, we don't have the money to do that, so we're having to sell the tickets to the Jazz Fest. But know this, 100% of this money is going back into the community. Nobody's pocket. 100% of it. Okay, whatever monies we get from donation, it goes back into, and if we have money left over from these events, we will put it into scholarships and other things in our community. So just wanted to come before you, and I give the other board members a chance to speak.
Speaking in regards to what Frank just kind of renovated, I think last year was a great example. I believe you, Mayor, had an opportunity to the very first Jazz Festival that we held, which was supposed to be outdoors, but it ended up being inside, which was a wonderful array of people from ages 5 up until almost 75, it seemed. And it was just a beautiful way that we expressed ourselves to let you know that you are loved, you are appreciated. Almost like going to the MSU football games, when we say Hell State, when you see the unity, everybody coming together, that's what we're trying to do here with the Juneteenth celebration. And so we're starting, I love one of the things that they have, the Boys to Men camps, the supporting the young men to let them know that one day you're going to have to grow up, and if you don't work, you don't eat. And so they're growing, and they're having mentors, men, our former police chief, and then our fire chief here, of course, being with Epsilon Sigma, they're representing to let young men know that it takes great men to lead. And not only that, just the gospel explosion at Bethel Church, so we're unifying in the community as well. And we're introducing into the community what jazz really is on a hard given day. Sometimes you just need some music just to soothe your soul. And if you've ever listened to just the saxophone itself, it just does something to you. So we just want to invite you all to just come out and support and let our community know that we're in this together, that it's just not for African Americans, but it's for all races, size, shapes, colors, and I yield the floor.
How y'all doing? I'll be extremely brief. I know some of you all are familiar with me. I've done several work, have several opportunities to share with our community and our youth. We took this opportunity to try to bring us together in unity. That's the overall perspective. It's so that we can make Starkville look great. That's the whole perspective of what we're doing. This is not about religion. This is about unifying our community and bringing them together as a whole. So basically, that's my whole concept of being in this committee, is to help our youth see something far more better than what they normally see on TV. We want to show them that our community can come together, grow together, and live together. I thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And Food Truck Day is Thursday from 5:30 to 10 on Lafayette. Soul Fest is Friday, June 17th, 5:30 to 10 at J.L. King. Jazz Fest is Saturday from 5:30 to 10:30 at Fire Station Park. Is that all correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good deal. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
All right, anyone else? Anyone else? All right, seeing none, we will close the citizens' comments and move to public hearings, of which we have 3. Mr. Haviland.
Good evening. First one we have is VA 22-08. This is a request by Slade Cracker for a variance from fence height requirements at 217 Royal Troon. Royal Troon, 217 is located in the Country Club Estate subdivision. It's at the northwest corner of the intersection of Somerset Drive or Somerset Road and Royal Troon. The request for the variance is to increase the maximum fence height in the front yard from 3.5 feet to 8.5 feet. And these two images, the one on the left was supplied by the applicant, and then I applied color to it. The one on the right is straight from the UDC. You can see the green area is what is considered the front yard. The red area on the image to the left is where he's wanting to extend the fence around the pool into the front yard setback. And that fence would be a privacy fence, so it could go up to the height of 8 feet. There are 6 criteria for variance review and approval that are in the UDC. This was noticed in accordance with the UDC. 4 property owners of record within 160 feet were notified directly by mail, and a legal ad was published on May 6th, and along with a sign being placed on the property. And as of this date, the planning department has only received 1 phone call and was just asked questions about the request. So in the opinion of the planning department, the variance request could meet the criteria for review and approval. And at the May 25th, 2022 Board of Adjustment Appeal meeting, the board voted unanimously to recommend approval. Are there any questions?
All right, any questions of Mr. Haviland before the applicant is here? I believe I saw. Yeah, there you are. Mr. Cracker, do you have anything you'd like to add to this?
No, ma'am.
That made it easy, did it? All right, well, I will open it. Okay, I will open it as a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this particular item on this variance for the fence height, now would be the opportunity, either for or against. Either for or against. Public hearing. Seeing none, I will close it as a public hearing. Any other questions now that we move into discussion or a vote? Do I have a motion?
Since it's my neighborhood, and as long as they're moving in, we might as well, yeah, I'll vote that we approve the variance.
Okay, I have a motion from Alderman Rupp. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Alderman Brooks. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. It is unanimous. All right, next up.
Next, we have Special Exception 22-03. This is a special exception request by Larry Tabor of L&M Properties or mini storage at 605 South Jackson Street in a C zoning district. This is the location of the old Fred's building. It is currently under renovation. This is the image that was supplied by the applicant. We applied some color to it. So in the front of the building, he's currently converting that into retail space. I believe he has a tenant for one of those spaces, and there's another space left over that could be divided in either two or one. The area in the back is just a large open space that he is proposing to convert to climate-controlled mini storage. And per the UDC, special exception is required for mini storage in a C zoning district. And there are 8 criteria for review and approval of the special exceptions. The request was notified in accordance with the UDC. 21 property owners of record within 160 feet were notified directly by mail, and it was advertised in the Starkville Daily News on May 6, 2022, and a sign posted on the property. As of this date, we have received 1 email in favor, which should have been in the staff report in the packet, and then today we received 1 phone call just requesting information. In the opinion of the Planning Department, the proposed special exception request could meet the criteria of review and approval. And at the May 31st, 2022 Planning and Zoning Commission special call meeting, the Commission voted unanimously to recommend approval.
Okay, all right, any questions of Mr. Havlin? All right, seeing none, Mr. Tabor, do you have anything you'd like to add? Oh, okay, all right, well, in that case, I will take this opportunity to open it as a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak either for or against this particular request, now would be the time, either for or against. Seeing none, I will close it as a public hearing. If there are no other questions of Mr. Havlin, anyone will entertain a motion.
Move approval.
A motion from Alderman Carver, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Sistrunk. No further discussion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It is unanimous. Thank you so much. And that's looking really nice, Mr. Tabor. Mr. Havlin.
And the last one we have is special exception 22-04. This is a request by Harold Mashburn on behalf of Grace Presbyterian Church, and it is to deviate from the requirements of a special event facility at 506 Academy Road in a CN zoning district. CN is commercial neighborhood. The applicant is proposing to construct a 50 by 80 open-air pavilion on the north side of the property adjacent to the rear lot 78 and 79 of the Oakville subdivision. So on the image on the left, I've kind of indicated which lots were 79 and 78. And on this next image, you'll see the location of the pavilion in red at the top. The additional standards for a special event facility requires a 50-foot separation from a single detached residential neighborhood. The applicant is requesting to reduce it from 50 to 30 feet with the addition of a buffer area, which would include a fence and landscaping. And again, here are the criteria for special exception review and approval. This was notified in accordance with UDC. 7 property owners of record were notified directly by mail, and a legal ad was published in May 6, 2022 Starkville Daily News, and a sign posted on the property. And as of this date, we've only received 1 phone call just requesting information about the request. And I did speak with the Mr. Forney, who is the developer of the Oakville subdivision, who currently owns those 2 lots, and he called asking information, but he wasn't against or for the request. So in opinion of the Planning Department, special exception request could meet the criteria for review and approval. And at the May 31st, 2022 Planning and Zone Commission special call meeting, the commission voted unanimously to recommend approval.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Mr. Havlin? All right, well, I started down there. So Alderman Sistrunk.
I just wanted to know if the motion needs to include the buffer with fencing and landscaping as a contingency.
I guess it could. It would be, I guess, safer. It would help us to definitely apply the buffer to it.
Okay. Alderman Brooks.
Did you flesh out the buffer and the fence height or anything? Because that piece probably going to be high.
If it's just like a tight buffer, like all the buffers require the wooden fence. So,
How high a fence? Is there a fence height requirement?
just a privacy fence, so it's anywhere from 6 to 8 feet generally.
Anything else? Okay. Is the applicant here? I believe I see him. Anything you'd like to add?
No, ma'am. I think we're good. Any questions right here?
Okay, I'm assuming y'all not going to have any wild parties at Grace Presbyterian and going to disturb the neighborhood, right?
We try to keep it.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, I'll open it as a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this matter now is the opportunity, either for or against. either for or against? Seeing none, I will close it as a public hearing. And if there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion. A motion, I heard, Alderman Beatty, was that you? Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Vaughn, all right, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Carver? Is that
She
you?
might have.
Okay, all right, Mrs. Alderman Sister?
Can I
With the
make?
conditions, okay, all right. Thank you, sir. All right. And Alderman Carver, second? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, if there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, party away. All right, and tonight the mayor has absolutely no business, so we will move to board business. And we have removed from consent the consideration of the Freeport Warehouse license and ad valorem tax exemption request by Garen. And Mr. Latimer, I think I'm going to let you carry this one just because you discovered the information we needed to know to make this decision.
Yes, ma'am. So as I looked at this further after the work session, this is a bundled item that I thought may be best unbundled. There are two specific tax exemptions that they're requesting. One is the new enterprise ad valorem tax exemption, and the other is the Freeport Warehouse license tax exemption. And they provided materials for both exemptions. The materials for the new enterprise ad valorem tax exemption are robust and complete and would trigger the board's consideration tonight. The materials related to the Freeport Warehouse license didn't lead me to conclude that enough was on the bone, so to speak, for you guys to vote one way or the other on the Freeport license agreement. So my recommendation was to remove this from consent and to bifurcate these two items and let you guys consider the new enterprise ad valorem tax exemption and let them present, if they are so inclined, more materials to the city for the Freeport Warehouse license exemption for a later meeting.
Can I ask a question? When you say more meat on the bones for Freeport license agreement, like, what do you mean?
There has to be two considerations met, one of two considerations for the Freeport Warehouse license exemption to apply. One is that goods have to be consigned or transferred or transferred to a warehouse or storage facility, or goods have to be maintained in a separate facility for shipment out of state, and the application is just silent as to both of those two items. So the application doesn't meet the statutory specs.
Was that the like percentile out of state, 2% or?
How many goods go out of state, and when you look at their application and it says percentage of goods out of state, it says TBD, to be determined. So we don't know.
I thought those.
Maybe we ask them to clean that up.
Alderman Rupp.
Sorry.
Not yet. The theory would be to follow up tomorrow for the next meeting.
Alderman Carver?
So you're saying we can go ahead and vote on the one tonight?
The new enterprise ad valorem tax exemption, and what that is when you have a new enterprise or you expand your new enterprise and you're already a district that would allow, or an entity that would allow an exemption, which Garen is, a warehouse and a manufacturing facility, you can seek an exemption for your new property, and that's what they're doing.
I make a motion.
You can't, anyone else? Alderman Beatty?
Just clarity, council, the ad valorem tax exemption, that's a standard thing the ad valorem tax exemption the most new industries or the industry get.
It is, and that's a great point, and let me tag that by saying the way that would work is if the board approves the application tonight, then the board sends a resolution to the Mississippi Department of Revenue saying that it approved the application. The Mississippi Department of Revenue takes a look at it independently of what the board did, and they approve or disapprove. And if they approve, then the board has to come back and order the exemption. So this is not the last time you would see it if the matter goes forward.
Normal counties follow suit on what municipalities and counties is, with exception of school taxes. School taxes.
They're exempt, that's correct.
And the other thing, the Freeport thing, that's just basic procedural and wording. It's not been provided because there's no tax exemption on the Freeport Warehouse licenses that it would affect the city of Starkville.
So if you would grant it, it would exempt those items, the items that would be held in the state temporarily to go out of state.
What tax do we have the petition do we get from what?
It would exempt all ad valorem taxes with respect to those goods.
Okay. But we would capture all of that.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman Carver, you want to make a motion? I apologize. I should have let you do that first.
Oh, who's got it written up?
May I make the motion?
Okay, and we'll take a second from down to your left. Go ahead.
Move approval of the new enterprise ad valorem tax exemption request by Garen Manufacturing Corporation pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated Section 2731-101 and following, adopting the specific findings of facts contained in the application, and authorizing the city to provide a resolution consistent with those findings to the Mississippi Department of Revenue pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated Section 2731-107.
Okay.
Is that-
And Alderman Carver, you seconding that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. The next item is consideration of authorizing the mayor to arrange and coordinate the installation of 2 test kiosks for the use of the Pave Park designated areas. And as we recall from having multiple discussions about this, Alderman Beatty was interested in having kiosks, and so in doing a little research, Alderman Brooks and I met with Mr. John Chisholm, who is of the Access Control Group, to discuss how that might come about. And so there are a couple of opportunities, and they have submitted a proposal to us, which is included in your cover packet. And basically, it is the meters are there are 2 demos, and they're allowing us to have them for rental purposes for the most part, and we will kind of do it to see if it's going to work for us. So the demo fee is $6,000 for 2 devices, which includes programming for both meters, credit card setup, PCI complaints, pay-by-license plate display, programming system with Park Mobile, all the latest software upgrade and installation for meters. And then if we decide to keep the meters, they belong to the city, and the city pays the monthly fee of $250 a month per device, which allows for upkeep and maintenance for them. So that is, in essence, the thrust of this.
I was just reading through that one about the location. Is it to be determined, or they were trying to?
Well, we found one down in the Cotton District across from Bin 612 basically. The other one we thought would be in the area of the Commodore Bob's Humble Taco. But we've got to find a place that is ADA accessible, because that's one of the things that we've got to set up. We've got to create a pad, and so it is not something that's going to happen overnight, even with board approval of this, and obviously it's not free. So that's all considerations for us, but this is one of those things that if we are trying to make it as easy as possible and as accessible to as many people as possible, then I think probably 2 of them in the vicinities of the most populated or used areas, densest areas of use, would be certainly a good way to start testing, or permanent, however it works out to be. So, any questions of anyone? Alderman Carver, anything else? Alderman Sistrunk?
No, my only concern is that it is a test, and that we make a motion that we limit the length of the test to no more than 3 months.
Once they get installed.
Once they're installed,
Yeah, 'cause that's
which
gonna
will take us through the majority of the football season.
I guess it might take us to the end of the year. I have no idea how long it's going to take us to get to that point, but we will also be gathering data at the time, so we'll be able to know how well used it is and that sort of thing. So, Alderman Rupp, anything?
No, I think we should do it.
That's all right. Alderman Brooks?
And just to add, in case you missed it, these are solar powered units.
Yes, they are. I'm sorry. We're no hardwired. We went into it anticipating for solar power, so we're not having to worry about hardwiring anything. So hopefully they will be very simple. Once we find a location, we put a pad down for it, and then the solar power allows it to function. Because this particular group this doesn't accept cash, strictly credit card only. So it will be solar powered and credit card only.
And they will tie on the back end.
Yes, and that was,
So when they go down through using their app, they can see what they want to do.
Yes.
And my thoughts were, I think it's good that it's going to take them a couple of months to get everything together, because I really think that for us to do a true test, it needs to be during football season. And we'll know. We'll see if people will use it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Alderman Beatty, anything?
Alderman Brooks, you spoke my words. I wanted this the test period to get us through the football season, trying to complete the football season, because that way we're going to find out for these 7 home ball games if people are using this thing or not. What if they got expedited much quicker sometimes they do, most times they don't, than we anticipated, and these things got installed by in July or something like that. Now, the 3 months wouldn't necessarily pull us down to it.
Well, let's see. Alderman Sister, would you like to perhaps take it to the end of the year? Just have an end of the year testing timeline?
It's $500 a month.
It is.
And that's we will have invested just under $6,000 in pads and getting these set up to test. Then another $500 a month. So we're now, if we take it through the end of the year, potentially pushing $10,000. And I would prefer to delay the implementation. I feel like you can probably.
I feel sure I can do that.
I feel sure you could too. Delay the implementation until closer to football season, and then run it September, October, November.
Okay.
And that way we'll know. We'll have a good sample, and we'll know.
Well, I will manage it on the front end so that it, on the back end, puts us through football season.
And if it runs past September, which is a possibility, we'll rework.
Well, I'll work hard on having that not happen, so.
I think, Carl, would you?
Oh,
Well, let me work my way on down the table, so. Vice Mayor Perkins? All right, thank you. Alderman Vaughn?
That was my concern, whether we generate enough revenue to, or we won't be losing no money when we gain money to pay for all the services we render.
I know, and we won't know, so this is a test.
That's my concern.
Yes, sir, I understand.
I mean, Mayor, I think that, excuse me, May I?
Yes, sir.
But, I mean, it's something, it's customary, it's done in college towns. I mean, these kiosks, most times they're a party. But short of the meters at every parking place, which I know you're not keen on, this is the next best way to give people an alternative to using the parking overlay. And it may flop, and then nobody using it. We know we're going to have football season, let's take them out. They don't work. But this will be a good test for the football season. And we've got a bunch of big old schools coming in here. This season, Mississippi State season will be got some powerhouse. So there'll be a lot. If State's decent football, there'll be a lot of people coming. So I think that's fair. We'll be able to tell after football season where we're going to get a use out of it.
Okay, all right, thank you. Well, I do need a motion. I'm sorry, but. Alderman Carver?
well, I was just going to, I lean more toward the end of the year option, you know, I mean, it is some revenue generated with these. We've seen a $16,000 revenue, you know.
May I say, there may have been $16,000 of tickets written. In terms of collections, I don't know how much has been collected, because it's not just parking tickets, but any tickets that we write are subject to collection, and we're carrying several $1 million on the books of unpaid tickets.
Yeah,
Well, and
so-
let me come back to that, because this is not about the ticketing. What we're wanting people to do is pay the 75 cents or the $1 an hour. So I would like to think that nobody gets a ticket. I mean, the goal is not to give people tickets. The goal is to have them pay for parking and have the turnover. So I would like to think that's not where we are.
And I'd also like to say that let never lose sight of the fact that they can dial the 800 number and do it by phone, and Alderman Beatty and I are going to park on University Drive and try the 800 number and see just how cumbersome that is.
Can I come watch?
You can, not together. We're not going to do it together. We've had our together time today.
Okay.
I was
all right.
just saying, I
Alderman
think
Carver, I'm
it
sorry.
is a revenue generator, and it's been, you know, it's going to be around 16,000. We saw another budget adjustment tonight of what is it, 5,000. I'm just saying, there's money in there. If you're going to get the data, get long-term data. And this is a transient town, and obviously we know the fall is the best time to get data of high use within the Cotton District. So I would think, you know, instead of an installation date and pull this thing out midway through the football season, just get some good data and leave it in there through November, December, and see.
We can come back and revisit it, but
Sure.
I can manage it on the front end to ensure that it certainly is, spans the football season. All right. Yes, Alderman Beatty.
How are we going to disseminate the information to people outside Starkville that we've got this? Because that was one reason that everybody got caught by surprise, and I think it was the tickets to get it on the front end. Well, I mean, just we put it in and it happened. But now we've got flyers going out in the utility bill. Well, that's because of Starkville.
I would like to think that the merchants, and we have cards that we're providing to the students, and we have cards that we're providing to the merchants to then give to their customers. So I would like to think the merchants would share those things with their customers as they're coming into the stores and stuff. But you and I both know we're not going to be able to get that information out to Auburn fans or Ole Miss fans or whoever it is that's coming into town for whatever those ball games are in any kind of meaningful way unless they're going to pay attention to what's going on in Starkville. And we can do that through the partnership website, but it's going to be one of those things where we're not going to be able to get that information out.
Mayor,
Vice Mayor?
you and Honorable Budget Chair have some great ideas. This is a great start. We're allowing you to coordinate. We're not going to solve all the problems at this table tonight. Let's do what the Honorable Budget Chair is suggesting. Together we'll hear inputs. Let's move forward. We'll monitor. If we need to come back and evaluate it, we'll do that. So I think this is a very excellent start. This issue has been discussed in great depth. I think a lot of planning has gone into it. I want community there. It's just Trump. I like your ideas. Normal budget share, I may say. So I like to see us just go ahead and vote on the pending motion there, and we can just come back and see where we are if we need to. I yield.
All right, thank you.
Do we have a motion?
Well, I was going to say, I don't have a motion written down.
We do that.
Alderman Brooks, you want to make a motion?
I want to make a motion.
Okay.
With a date certain or
Yeah,
time.
with 3 months.
Okay, all right.
Through the end of
3 months or in
football
the football
season.
season?
Yeah, through the end of football season.
Okay,
Three
and I will
months.
I will manage that on the front end to make
I'll
sure.
second whatever that motion.
Well, let's see if we can, all right, so we've got 3 months to the end, to the end of football season.
Whichever comes first.
Whichever comes first.
That's right.
Okay, all right. All right, so I have a motion from Alderman Brooks. 3 months or the end of football season, whichever comes first, which means I really was late getting it done. But I will do my best to make that happen. So I have a motion, do I have a second?
The IT issues to work
I'll
out.
second.
You'll second that? All right, thank you. Alderman Beatty, I have a second from Alderman Beatty. Without any further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next item is the claims docket. Do I have a motion for claims docket?
Second.
Oh, okay. Alderman Sistrunk for a motion and Alderman Rupp for a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
All right, 5-2, motion carries. And I believe that takes us to the end of our agenda. Thank you all very much. Let me read my work session information. There will be a work session of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen on Friday, June 17th at 2022 at 11 o'clock at the Starkville City Hall located at 110 West Main Street in the second floor conference room. The public and media are invited to attend. It will be posted within the hour of this meeting being closed out. And I have been in contact with the board regarding a special call, but we'll make it a special call for city engineer interview. So if you would please, then do I have a motion for us to recess? A motion from Alderman Rupp to recess. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Brooks. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we are in recess. Thank you so much. Thank you.